Hello everybody, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Carole, this is my channel Sew Carole, and I am so happy that you could join me in my sewing room today. I'm actually wearing one of my makes that I made this week, and I've got a fun pair of trousers that I put together to show you. Now, you might have seen from a community post I put up this week that we very sadly lost our very beloved dog Mickey this week. We had to say goodbye to him on Monday, which came as quite a shock. I'm going to talk more about him later, but I will just say it's been a tough week. And actually, even though I didn't want to keep sewing actually got me through this week. And the pair of trousers that I made, I think, will always remind me of him. But I will talk more about him later, because I know a lot of you may not be interested in pets. But let's talk about my pink cardigan that I'm wearing right now. So I'm sorry, I've used the same pattern again, but then a lot of people out there are very partial to the Harper cardigan. But this is my Harper. It's Kwik Sew 3693. I've said it a lot, but if you can get your hands on this pattern, it's awesome and it makes up so quickly. You've got a kind of neckband that's all included, so there's only 3 pieces, and you just kind of fold it back. Now, I made this in a lovely pink knit that I got, and I think I talked about it last week that I didn't buy enough, but and I think I showed it, but now I have it. And yeah, it took 1.5 meters because of the kind of flared sleeves there. Flared front, sorry. I love it. I love it, and as you can see, I just had to wear it today because it's just so soft. This was a perfect fit on me. Last time I made it, I talked about the fact that I thought, as it was a big full pattern, that it was a 1.5 seam allowance, and I'd made it about 4 times before. It wasn't. When I last made it, I noticed it was a 6mm. Now that made these shoulders kind of a little bit big here. So I did a compromise and I did a 10 centimeters. Is that 3/8 inch seam allowance? So that's worked out about right. Very happy with it. Wearing it. And you see me modeling it, but I just wore it. I've got this lovely t-shirt that I made about 3 or 4 years ago now. It's just a quick new look t-shirt, very basic pattern, and it's just got a bit of pink in, so I've been wearing that today. Now, I did also make a pair of trousers out of a green tencel twill kind of fabric. And I think I showed you this before. I got 2 pieces. I got the green and I got the grey, and I decided to make up the green first. It moves. This stuff, if you've used a viscose twill or tencel twill, as you're cutting it out, it does kind of move and it does misshapen, but it's worked out okay. Now, the pattern that I talked about making with it last week, I don't know what I was thinking, because I talked about either making that one there, new look 6644, but really I talked about making this one, Butterick 6865. But hello, this is for knits, obviously, and I didn't think that at all. The shape I was looking for was this kind of drawstring with the front pockets and then to the gathered hems, because that's what I'd seen in all the shops. I couldn't use that. It was a knit pattern. It might have worked if I had a size down, but I wasn't going to mess around with that. So I went through all my trouser patterns and I came up with a kind of mashup again of 2 patterns. And the 2 patterns I used were Simplicity 1377 and this new look 6644. I'd never used this one before at all, but what I liked about it was the fact it was so slim-legged. Now, a lot of these trousers, because I'm short, I can't go too wide. So this was nice slim leg, and I liked the elastic on the top. But I wanted it to look more kind of combat-y and have the gathered bottoms. So for the combat part of it, I stole some pockets. I stole the back pockets of this one. I'll show you the line drawings, that might help. I stole the back pockets, and I also stole the side pockets, but I didn't use the flap over the top because I've used that before and it's a pain. It's annoying to wear if you've got a flat. Also, I find that it kind of kicks out. You can never iron it straight down unless you sewed it down. It just never looks neat. So I omitted that. So I've got a pair of trousers which I absolutely love. I did make them at a very sad time this week, but I just cracked on and made them, and they kind of saved me. So here we go. This is, I have to say, this fabric creases like the devil. So wherever I go, I'm going to have to make sure I take an iron with me. So here we go. Now, the interesting thing was, I thought from the pattern that it was 3 channels. 3 channels you sew, but only 2, the top and the bottom, you put elastic in, which I thought that was a bit strange, and I would almost put 3 in, I think, because it just looks a bit, it sags in the middle. Bit weird, but makes quite a nice effect. So this was the pockets that was included on that pattern. They had no back pockets, and I like a back pocket. I know lots of people don't, but I have put the back pocket on there. And of course I added these side pockets. I have to say, it looks like a rag as I'm holding it up, but I promise you it looks far nicer on. It's going to be one of these fabrics that needs to hang and drop, and I had it folded up in the corner of my sewing room, but it looks much nicer on, believe me. So both sides of that pocket, and I did add a little button, but as I said, I didn't put the flap over the top. So although it looks horrible right now, it is, as you can see in the photo, much nicer. For the bottom, so neither of those patterns did a sort of elastic hem, but all I did was just obviously hem it up, and it was the perfect length. If you are taller than me, and I'm only 5'2", then you'll need to add a bit of length onto this pattern if you're using it, because it, with turning up, I didn't cut any off and I didn't adapt it, and it's the right length for me. I didn't do it very tight elastic. I just put a nice sort of decent chunk of elastic, is it 7 inch or something, elastic in it just to create that effect. So I'm really happy. That's exactly what I wanted, and I've got that grey piece of fabric, so I might very well do exactly the same with the other piece of the fabric. I have got a collab coming up this month, in the month of May. We've got 2 weeks time, and I haven't done one for a while, so I'm very excited about it. And 2 of the nicest people asked me to do it, so I am thrilled. So I've been working a bit on that this week, behind the scenes, and obviously I can't share that with you yet. But these 2 ladies, they are from Australia, which always excites me that I'm chatting to people that live completely the other side of the world. It's amazing. But they are Violet May Handmade, and I will put the link to their channel down below. But they're a mother and daughter team that sew the most prettiest, lovely dresses, and they're just everything, and they wear identical stuff when they're presenting, and it's so sweet, and they are so adorable, and they are far more talented than they think, as is often the case. At the moment they're doing kind of, they're making some bags, and they're doing a drawer, and then they have to make up a bag from some patterns. So I think they're free patterns, but I might be wrong there. But yeah, go and check them out. But I will be doing a collab with them in a couple of weeks. But I was thrilled when they approached me to do this collab with them. So I'm halfway through my project and I'm loving it. Now, I have to talk about Mickey. Mickey was my lovely dog, well, our lovely dog. It's actually my daughter's dog. We got him when she was 15. Now, there's a story to tell you about him, why he's so special to me. All my life, I've been absolutely terrified of dogs. I couldn't even be in a room with one. I think I got scared as a child, and it stuck with me. But I was petrified. And my daughter, when she was about 14, 15, kept on and on. She wanted a dog, as they all do. I'll promise I'll look after it, blah, blah, blah. So I said, right, okay, let's just go and see some. So there was some lovely spaniel puppies for sale just locally to us. And I said, look, I'll go and see if I can be in the same garden. So they were in a garden running around. I said, see if I can cope with it. So I managed to cope with the puppies okay. The mother dog I was a bit terrified of, but she was lovely. And I thought, yeah, maybe I can do this. So we let fate decide, and we ended up getting that puppy. And we ended up having to bring a trainer in because I was so scared living with this little puppy. In fact, my daughter was quite unconfident as well. So anyway, so we got Mickey. And of course, what it did, and what people have told me all my life, is the only way to get over a fear of having a dog is actually have a dog. And they are right. I now understand dogs. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not scared of dogs anymore, because if you've got something like a big Alsatian German Shepherd, something like that, then yeah, I'm still wary, but I now know how to read them. And that was the main thing for me. So Mickey, lovely Mickey, got me over my lifelong fear of dogs. Obviously now both my children have dogs, so I can be in a room with 3 dogs and not think about it at all. So yeah, thank you Mickey for that. Also, because he was our one and only pet, we had no idea how devastating it is to lose him. Now, obviously, he was an old dog. We'd had him a long time, and he'd done so well up until literally the weekend. And we all knew it was inevitable, but we had no idea how hard it was to make the decision and lose a pet. So my heart goes out to anybody that's had to do it, and I know a lot of my friends have recently. So yeah, it's hard. Now I've got some projects that I want to get done. I have got to make something. He doesn't watch my channel anymore, but it's my son's birthday soon. And the lovely Adam from Adam Sews, and I'll come back to that in a minute, sent me some fabric a while ago, and it is this Schitt's Creek fabric, which honestly we all love in our family. It was a brilliant series. So he sent me this lovely cotton jersey, and I've kept that now because what I want to make for my son is some pyjamas. May just make some pyjama shorts, but I want to try and make that because it's his birthday in a couple of weeks. If I've got some spare, I may make him some boxer shorts for a laugh, but we shall see. So I want to get cracking and do that. Also, we are away in the holiday home this weekend, and I'm conscious that I need to take something very simple to do. I've still got this piece of pop jersey fabric that I bought in Joann's in Florida, and I want to make myself another pair of 3/4 length pyjamas, and I know that's boring, but needs must. So yeah, I might take that with me to do because that'd be a nice easy project. I've also got lots and lots, now I talked about this earlier in the year, lots and lots of quilting fabric and cotton fabric, lots of bits that I would love to kind of sew together and make a bag out of. So might take those, cut some squares, I might take those to play around in the caravan. We'll have to see. If the weather's nice, obviously we will be out and about. But if it isn't, then at least I have something to do while my husband is reading or watching television. Last Friday Sews, I talked about that I was going to meet up with Adam, the lovely Adam from Adam Sews, who we all know and is getting increasingly famous. But I managed to meet up with him because I had a parcel to pass on to him from Jen. That was amazing. We met up, and very long cup of coffee, tea we drink. So very long cup of tea, a couple of hours just chatting about absolutely everything. So that was marvellous to catch up with him. He, being the absolute sweetie that he is, when he heard about Mickey, he sent me a lovely gift this week, and I'll put a picture in, but it's a beautiful candle, which is the perfect thing to give me because at night we light the candle and then we think of Mickey. So he is the sweetest man, honestly. I'm so grateful to know him. I think that's all I have to report this week. Obviously, we had the sad news this week. I did go on a lovely walk with my Ramblers group on Tuesday, which was lovely because actually I don't know them very well and none of them knew that I had a dog. So it was easy just to go and walk with them and not talk about it. But I thought I saw bluebells last week. Well, that was nothing compared to what we came across this week. At this time as well, there were these woods and it was just complete wild garlic, which smells awesome, by the way. and then bits of bluebells in between it, and you had the white, big swathes of white and then big swathes of blue. It was incredible, but as usual it didn't really come out in the photos. So that was, oh God, I think we all went back smelling of garlic because obviously it's rubbing on our trousers as we walked. I also came across a slow worm, which is quite rare, but really looked a really healthy slow worm, so I took a picture of that. So they look like a snake, but they're not. They're legless lizards, but as we don't get many snakes in this country, that's probably the nearest we get to. So, as I said, we're going down to the holiday home this weekend. It is actually a bank holiday, so we have Monday there as well. Now, I'm desperately trying to get filmed and get out to you a video about I did a while ago, I did my top 10 new look patterns, which actually funnily coincided with the great 99% sale on New Look. So I hope I'm not going to tempt fate, but I very much want to do my top 10 simplicity patterns. So I'm really hoping I can get that out to you next week. I hope I'm not tempting fate though, and then Hobby Lobby stops selling simplicity patterns, but let's keep our fingers crossed on that I didn't tempt fate. So yeah, keep your eye out. Hopefully I will get that video out next week. Thank you very much for joining me, and oh my goodness, thank you so much for the wonderful comments that you put on my community post, which my whole family have read. Honestly, you all said exactly the right thing to me, and it was really emotional reading all those comments, so thank you so very much. I do hope you have a really good weekend sewing, and if you're in the UK, hope you have a fantastic bank holiday. And as usual, aren't we all hoping for some sun? But I'm not so sure on that, because even though we're in May, our weather hasn't really perked up yet. Thank you for joining me. I so appreciate your company, and once again, thank you so much for the love that you gave me this week over the loss of Mickey. I will see you all shortly. Goodbye for now.